All right. So here is your semester 2 final exam outline. I'm going to hand this out to you, which goes over the expectations for this 3D project. Now remember, you are writing the exam, and the better your problems are, the better they're written, the more likely it is that I will choose your problem to put on the final exam. As you're writing these, please keep that in mind. Don't go through quickly and just find any old random problem from the book. Okay, I'm looking for creativity, especially in the word problems, originality on all of these. Okay? And there has to be some level of difficulty on them. Don't choose the easiest problems. Don't choose the most difficult problems either. There has to be some sort of halfway in between on these problems that you choose. So let's look at this. Like I said, this is from semester 1 and semester 2. Everything from chapter 1 to, for you guys, I believe it was chapter 9. Is that right? For this class? Now, there was a chapter in there we didn't do. Don't do it from there. So you have to be careful when I hand this out. Hopefully you guys will be able to change that. So there's that one chapter, and we'll figure that out, that you guys didn't do. But you're going to basically create 3 problems per chapter. And we've done 8 chapters. So how many problems is that total? 24. There we go. 24.
It says you'll choose 3 problems.
What?
It says you'll choose 3 problems.
Right. Yeah. Choose or creates. Right.
The type of problem.
Now, the 3 types of problems. Problem 1 and 2 are going to be similar to each other, where they're just basic skills problems. You know, like 2x, like the example up there, make negative 5x plus 3y equals 10, 3x minus 9y equals negative 23. That's what I'm talking, like just basic skills problem assessment. Again, not too easy, not too hard. But problem 1 is supposed to be able to be done without a calculator. Meaning, if you work this out, do these numbers work out neatly? Do you have no fractions, no decimals as you work them out? Because it just needs to be able to be done without a calculator. Problem 2 is one where they will be able to use the calculator. So maybe there are decimals in the answers or part of the problem.
That's not what it says on mine. It says problem 1 might require the use of a calculator.
Okay, then I have them flipped, and that's fine. Okay. But 1 and 2, basic skills. 1 can be used with the calculator. The other one, make sure it works out neatly so they don't have to use a calculator on that one. And then problem 3 is a word problem. Okay, it doesn't have to be one from the book. You can make it your own. You can make it fun, tied to something you enjoy. But write this word problem, and again, the most creative ones are the ones that I would choose, most likely, so be creative when you're doing these. Okay, and they're all due before the final, so the due date for you all is next Friday. Everything has to be done and to me by next Friday. I cannot and will not accept it later than that. Can someone tell me why?
Because the test is Monday.
And what will I be doing all weekend?
Making the test.
Making the test that you guys created. All right? So that's why I have to have them by Friday. I have to have them by Friday. If you're not going to be here next Friday, get them to me sooner. Yes?
So what are we going to do on Wednesday if the test is taken?
Wait, what?
So you said that the test is on Monday.
Not next Monday. The following.
Yeah.
It's a 2-part test.
Oh,
So 1 no calculator and 1 calculator.
Okay.
And they both won't take 55 minutes.
Okay.
Right, so they're not going to fill all of that. But in total, the test should take about an hour. So 30 minutes one day, 30 minutes the other day. So that way people have plenty of time. All right. If you flip it over. Oh, and then, yeah, flip it over. Look, this is the grading rubric. Oh, these folks up here. This is the grading rubric that I'm going to use. Again, for you guys, we'll have to figure out what chapter you skipped, and you're going to change this. All right, because yours is 1 through 9, but I think we skipped 2 or 3. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out. And that's just basically, it's somewhat, mostly, completely. Right? Obviously, if you didn't do it at all, okay, then you're just going to get a 0. You don't even reach the somewhat category. It's just somewhat you did that, mostly you did that, or you did that completely. Okay, and then so that's for all the chapters. It says the student included quality problems that covered the important concepts learned, and the solutions provided were neat and accurate. And then the last one, the student completed at minimum 12 problems from his or her peers. So next Wednesday, Friday, that's when we're going to kind of like do the exchange in class where you'll be working on other people's problems. You can do more than 12, but at minimum, that's our goal. And it's advantageous to do as many as you can, because then when the test comes, some of you might have seen every single problem on the test, which would be great. Not likely, because there's another class creating problems as well. Okay? So hold on to this. This is the outline, stipulations. On the front, at the bottom there, I talk about this next thing that I'm going to hand out to you. These first 8 pages. And I know it sounds a lot, but you're doing everything on these. Let me hand them out. Okay, so this first set of pages is on each page is 2 chapters. Right, so maybe it's not the next 8 pages, but the next 8 parts. Again, we'll have to figure out what chapter you guys are missing, and we'll just change them. But I leave space in there, and in those spaces is where you're going to handwrite your problems. All right, so this is problem 1, problem 2, problem 3. Hopefully you can squeeze them in there. Okay. You're not working them out here. You're just writing the problem. Okay, that's why there's not that much space. You're not working them out here. I don't have it with me today. I didn't want them with me today. But you're going to, on another packet that looks very similar to this, is where you're working out the problem itself. Okay? In fact, it might be good to have that, so I'll print it for you and get it to you. So that's what this packet is for. You're putting all of the problems, none of the solutions. Okay? Questions? And I'll print out the other packet. Looks very similar to this, but the other one is just where all your solutions go. Now, extra credit. I'm not a huge fan of extra credit, except if it is advantageous to me, right? And so the extra credit that I will offer, and it's, if you've never learned to do this, I'll show you how to do this on here. Let me open up a new doc. You can write all of these, or type all of these problems out for me. It would make my job a lot easier and more likely that I would use your problems, unless somebody wrote out a problem that was amazing that I wanted to include it. All right, so there's this function. And again, I'm recording this, so I'm going to send it home so that everybody knows how to do this. If you wanted to, like if you look on that outline, right here, that equation right there. Like, how did he do that? That looks amazing. Well, first of all, thanks. And secondly, I use this thing on here. It's called equations. If you go to inserts, down here to where it says equation, boom, and that's how I do all of this. Right, so if you want a fraction, now I use shortcuts all the time, so the fraction, I believe right here. So there's a keyboard shortcut to fraction. Like if I know that I'm doing a fraction, I just do that, what's that, when it's leaning this way, what's that called? Backward slash, backslash. Backward, whatever. And then you just frac, and then space, and it gets the fraction in there. Okay, and if you have a fraction on a fraction, there's a fraction on a fraction, here's a fraction on a fraction on a fraction. Okay. And then if you just want to do it without the backslash frac, you can go in here and it's right there. So the a over b, that's a fraction. So if you're doing 1/2 x, that's what it looks like, plus 2x. And then the little carets above on my keyboard, it's the 6. If you hit shift that, that'll get you an exponent there. Or for a decimal, or an exponent, you could use this one right here. So you would do x to the 4th power. Go back and delete that. Whoops. So if you're doing x to the 4th power, up here you would hit the, nope, that's the sub. I want the exponent. So it'd be x, and then to the right arrow, to the 4th. Okay, you can do them all on n equations.
So if we do that with our problems, we would get extra credit?
Mhm.
How much?
That's a great question.
Wait, so then when we're writing the problems, we just type them out.
Yeah, you would write them down here first. It's a lot easier to write them down first, and then on Tuesdays, Thursdays, you would type them out.
Will
Yeah.
that be our only homework? Or like, for example?
That's it. So for the next week, we're just doing this. Yeah.
And we're doing this in class?
In class and at home. Okay, and then these are what I'm going to print out for you. I don't want to, well, you guys aren't having that exam anyway. You're making your own. So these 8 pages are where you are writing the problems. And then the next couple of pages are where you're going to write the solutions. So right here, I'm going to print these out for you so that you have them. And I want the solutions, just so they're nice and neat, you're going to write the solutions in red pen. All right, so you'll rewrite the problem unless it's a word problem, but you'll write the solutions in red pen. Okay? Questions? Questions on what you're doing today? Now, I know some of you have to finish that test, so right now we're going to take about 10 or 15 minutes to finish that test.